I'm going to start with Olam, which is kind of the beginning part, and then I'll quiet it down so you can kind of talk over it, and then we can do English on that song, the Olam Chesed.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of...
Right at the front?
Yeah, just right now.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're delighted to have you both here in the sanctuary and online. If you're taking us on the internet, we're delighted that you're able to make it with us and be with us on this Shabbat. Rabbis Fader and Alper are in Israel right now. God willing, they're having a wonderful and safe time with their children. It's sort of the bar mitzvah trip that didn't take place, but is taking place, and it's with all of the COVID tests and the non-COVID tests and the anti-COVID tests and the test after the COVID tests. We hope that they're enjoying enough that they're not doing any testing anymore so that they can have the experience that they set out for their family. So we're delighted to be with them, and I get to share this service and next week to be with you until they return. So we're delighted to be here on this Shabbat and to celebrate with you. Shabbat.
Olam chesed yibane
Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh.
Olam chesed yibaneh.
Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai.
That's our prayer for this evening. We will build a world of justice, of peace, of loving kindness. Our service continues on page 2 with the blessing of the Shabbat candles, and it's my honor to invite Rachel Andreas and her mother, Lynn Wallace, to come forward and lead us in the service. Blessing of the candles on page 2 and 3 in our prayer books.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'had likner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with this vote, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. And then the blessing over bread. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Umanahi, Shevet Avi, Gam Yachad, Minei Mato. Umanahi, Shevet Avi, Gam Yachad, Minei Mato. Umanahi, Shevet Avi, Gam Yachad, Minei Mato. Umanahi, Shevet Avi, Gam Yachad. We continue now on page 6. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. Please rise for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, as we join together on page 28. Lai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We continue with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We continue with the V'ahavta on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanta lam levanecha v'dibarta b'am b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory, may earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice, as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהיות אוסף אלה, נורא תהיות אוסף לעולם ועד. בחוקך ראו עליך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la la la.
On page 42, Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake be our help, shield, and shelter beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing, for you, O God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming, to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue on page 46, and we stand for tefillah. Prayer invites God's presence to fuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mei Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. On page 51, we read responsively. We pray that we might know before whom we stand the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live. We pray for the winds to disperse the choking air of sadness, for cleansing rains to make parched hopes flower, and to give all of us the strength to rise up toward the sun. We pray for love to encompass us for no other reason save that we are human, for love through which we may all blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives. We pray to stand upright, we fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray for opened eyes, we who are blind to our own authentic selves. We pray that we may walk in the garden of a purposeful life, our own powers in touch with the power of the world. Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women flower toward the sun. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. Atah Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Page 58. When we behold, 59, I'm sorry. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lahodot. Praised are you, eternal God, for whom we give thanks for all our blessings. Shalom Ra. Page 60.
Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. B'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam.
We're now at that time in our service when we offer a prayer of healing for those in our community, in our world, and there are many in our world that need a prayer of healing now more than ever, along with a prayer of peace. But we take this moment and this time for those in need of a prayer of healing of body and soul. And you can join me on page 253 in the prayer book with the Misha Berach. And as I sort of turn and look in your way, if you have a name of someone that you would like to recite at this time of the service and have them remembered for this prayer of healing, please do so. Please feel free. Sarah Stein and Jerry Krause.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeach imotenu mekol habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah. Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Ose shalom bimroma, huya ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
This Shabbat, our Torah portion is the second Torah portion in the book of Leviticus. It's entitled Tzav, the Hebrew word meaning you shall command. And beginning with this section is a detailed description and explanation and instruction manual for how sacrifices are supposed to be given in the sanctuary in the wilderness, the Mishkan. Now, the whole idea of sacrifice is something strange in a very ancient way. Because the idea of offering a sacrifice is to say that here is a substitute. I'm going to put this substitute on an altar, and I'm going to burn it to a crisp. And this is the way that it's going to be somehow acceptable to God. And as the saying goes, there but for the grace of God go I. In other words, I am the one that should be the one here, but this is what God allows us to do, give a substitute. Let someone substitute for me. Now, I've heard the phrase, there but for the grace of God go I, used many times, but not in as frequent an occurrence as has been happening in the last few weeks. Because as we talk about what is taking place in Ukraine, we are reminded of all of our people who came from that part of the world 100 years ago and more, and in a personal way from my family, there but for the grace of God go I. But for the fact that I had a grandfather who decided it was time to get out of Dodge, as the expression goes. It's time to leave. And so he left around 1905. He was a fugitive. He was a fugitive because he was going to be drafted into the Tsar's army. At that time, Russia did own it. He was going to be drafted in the Tsar's army, and he decided that he would rather not. He was known in our family as Peg-Leg Shook. It seems that in his effort to flee the Russian army, he fell into a frozen river And as a result of the fall, he lost a leg. But fortunate for my family, he was a skilled craftsman. He was some kind of a coachman. In those days, they made coaches out of wood body, and you were basically a skilled carpenter. When he got to America, for reasons that have yet to be explained to me, they settled in Pittsburgh, of all places. A woodworker being settled in Pittsburgh is like the wrong place at the wrong time. Steel, yes. Iron, we understand. Wood, no. When he found out that there was a company in Detroit called Fisher Body Company that was manufacturing car bodies out of wood. And there wasn't much, by the way, the symbol of the company is a coach. If you remember the symbol of Fisher Body. And he found out that he could work and make coach bodies. I hope he was making better ones than he was making in Russia and Ukraine. But that's how the family did it. But there, but the grace of God, it's just one story in millions of families who came from that part of the world, and now it's kind of like a really mixed emotion. If your family got out, it means that you only lost 70% of your family instead of 100% of your family. Because for every one or two people that managed to leave before 1941, there were so many of our cousins and aunts and uncles and relatives that died in the Holocaust that did not get out. There, but for the grace of God, though many of us. Have things changed? In some major ways, yes. In 1941, there was no Israel. Today, not only can we welcome our own relatives to our land, but we can rescue others. We have the power within us to provide a rescue that we could not do 75 years ago and more. And this is part of the thing that drives us. Therefore, for the grace of God, go we. We could have been that sacrifice on the altar of hatred, but we weren't. And that confers upon us a different kind of obligation. An obligation to see to it that those who are struggling now to find escape, who need our help, we need to respond in all ways possible to demonstrate that what we could not do in 1941, we can do today. And we have to do. We don't need any more sacrifices on the altar of hatred. What we need is compassion and rescue and love. And not trying to find distinctions between who is and who is not an official refugee, and where did they come from, and what is their family background, and what was their religious heritage. Now we understand that the price of hatred is too high to pay. And we have to make sure that these people have rescue and receive what they need to survive. So that 100 years from now, they can say, there by the grace of God go we. We were rescued by the people of the West. We were rescued by the state of Israel. And because of that rescue, we are still here today. How many scientists, doctors, agriculturalists, how many people did we lose? Millions. And they cannot be replaced. But we have within our hands the power to rescue men. And we dare not fail this time. May God grant our efforts at rescue will succeed as will efforts at establishing peace in that troubled part of the world, so that all can sit under their vines and under the fig trees, and none will make them afraid. Shabbat shalom. We turn now to page 282, and we stand for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה יוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Our meditation before Kaddish can be found on page 291. It is hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives most fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. On this Shabbat, we mention the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families as we recall their names in love. Harold Braumeyer, Tom Gerhard, Gary Carl Stein, Jeannie Thornberry, Susan Thornberry. And in love and respect, we mention the names of those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose passing occur, and whose names have been recorded in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial. David Eisenfeld, Teresa G. Agatstein, Irvin Bettman Sr., Michael Blumenfeld, Charlotte Solotkin Chasen, Rachel Cohen, Samuel R. Cohen, Anna Kotler, Dorothy Henrietta Dolgen, Dr. Clarence Theodore Eckert, Abraham Edison, Carolyn Elaine Finkelstein, Alberta H. Fisher, Samuel L. Fox, Sally Friedman, Isidore Fry, Albert Gelber, Stella Summers Glazer, Martin H. Goldberg, Cecilia Goldman, Dr. Leo Gottlieb, First Lieutenant Philip Graham, who died in the service of our country, Harry Greenberg, John Julius Greenberg, Frida P. Halpern, Sadie Herman, Sarah Shire Hirsch, Sadie Pill Jacobson, Arthur Jungman, Ernestine Kahn, Ralph W. Kalish Sr., Raymond Cohn, Emily T. Landauer, David Solomon Levine, Ellis A. Levine, Mildred R. Levy, Emma Berg Lowenstein, Samuel Magis, Emil Manny, Ida Mayer, Bernard Miller, Stanley S. Mitleiter, Arthur Muskin, Ida Steller Nieberg, Ethel Orchard, Ida S. Platt, Henry A. Rawson, Harriet Spire Rostenberg, Ruth Ann Rubin, Dina Sachs, Harold Sandmill, Ida Schechter, Sam Schechter, Alvin Circus, Rosetta L. Siegfried, Charles M. Silverman, David Silverman, Catherine Silverman, Walter J. Skranka, Marcus H. Solomon, Anna Hendon Steinbach, Jetta Stromfeld, Edward N. Tepper, Ira L. Wagner, Bill Wallace, Rose Wax, Dr. Albert G. Weiss, Clara Westheimer, Abraham Wolfe, Morton L. Zalk, together with those whom we name in our hearts, as we turn to words of Kaddish on page 294, and we rise to repeat these words together. Yitgadal, V'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma Divrach Chirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chaye Echon V'yom Echon, U'v'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala V'izman Kari V'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Leolam Melomei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpo'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal. Shmei de Kudsha Berichu. Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved. And we say together, Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol
Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai. I will sing a new song unto God.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Good job. Pleasure. See you next one. Do it all over again. All right.
Hello. I'm good. Growing the young one, and I told your husband that he's the third child. Well, Beth came over to our house for parents' which is very convenient for everybody, and exactly, that's right. How are you guys doing? We're not done, but I mean, we did do a lot. Exactly. Right. Pat needed a lot of work. A lot of people didn't know.
I know. Basement and you see the lighters in the whatever.
I mean, yeah, you must have been in our house. And then the water that came in, the mold. It was a mess. But it's great now. It's all done. You know, to our liking.
Say hello home for me.
You got it. Have a nice evening. Shabbat shalom.
Spirit,